This is case number 2 in our series, Anatomy of Real Estate Fraud in Vilcabamba. In this video, the channel will discuss and further expose Joe Meadows' entanglement with Marco Leon, Shangri-La Realty, Vilcabamba, in a home construction fraud scheme, mob robbery by her neighbors, how the provincial courts and a law firm, Espinosa, Rameriz Ruiz, Loja, participated in the fraud, how she lost $120,000 and her peace of mind. Welcome to Vilcabamba. This fraud is not an anomaly. A host of realtors and builders are poised to unburden you of at least $100,000 and turn your life into a living hell. Many in Vilcabamba and through Facebook know of Joe Meadows and her experience with Shangri-La realtor Marco Leon. It's remarkable for several reasons. Most of Leon's clients are too afraid to take him through a civil denuncia process. Leon often forces clients to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and Leon is a full-blown threatening psychopath. This case exposes the underbelly of Leon's construction fraud. Here, Leon and his building crew intentionally build substandard housing for profit. It exposes the judicial and lawyer bribery in the Loja Provincial Court, which is likely in Malacados. Meadows' attorney and law firm, Espinosa, Rameriz Ruiz, Loja. How they disappeared during the appeals after she wins on every legal principle. The founding partner, John Espinosa, vanished during the appeal process and reappeared well after the judge, Marco Leon, and Espinosa secretly plotted to gut the case as cash exchanged hands. Joe's house was stripped and robbed of every possession by her Ecuadorian neighbors as she abandoned the home for her safety, including the kitchen sink, and every last shred of her possessions were stolen. Most Ecuadorians don't give a shit about expats. Can we be honest about that? How many Ecuadorian friends do you have where no money exchanges hand? So here we are. When you're down, several more head blows are fine. Her vibrant dog sitter reported tile and other pieces dropping through the last night occupied. And what about all the stress, frustration, and betrayal Joe experienced in simply choosing to retire in Vilcabamba? These instances are not abnormal. Ask around in Vilcabamba or online. We salute Joe for having the courage and fortitude to confront Marco Leon and leave verifiable proof of his far-reaching fraud scheme and judicial bribery. Now, in Joe Meadows' own words and photographs of her house.
This is a long one, but if you can, please pass the word on. I post this because I love the Vilcabamba community. I'm safely in Arkansas, so I can post this. First of all, I know how stupid I was, so don't waste my time and yours telling me that I was stupid. My purpose is to keep others from making the same mistakes that I did. In 2014, I bought property in Molapamba from Marco Agustin Leon Piedra, also known as Marco Leon in Vilcabamba. By 2016, the house was falling apart. I sued Leon after spending a great deal of money, paying engineers to check both the property and the house. The results were that the house was built on a poor foundation and out of poor materials. The floors were cleverly concealed, and the engineers said the floors could only have been discovered the way the engineers found them, from drilling under the house and drilling holes into the walls of the house. I was in the States taking care of family when my house sitter called to tell me the ceiling was literally falling in. I told her to save my pets if she could, but not to worry about my belongings. They were just things. Subsequently, my house was looted, down to my kitchen sink. While I was in the States, I won my case against Mr. Leon. Leon appealed, and I didn't hear from my lawyer John Espinosa for a very long time. Then word reached me that Mr. Leon had won his appeal. I never really understood that, but I don't understand Ecuadorian law. I do know that there is a place online where you can look up his name and see all of the suits against him. Attached you can find a photo of Leon and of my house, or what was left of it. Leon's place of business is next to the Catholic Church. Right now, it's called Shangri-La, but he'll probably change it again. He often does. I lost $100,000 on the property, $2,000 for the engineers, about $20,000 on various legal fees. I paid several attorneys who subsequently dropped the ball. I could never understand why Espinosa didn't contact me. I think he just dropped the whole thing. We had an agreement that he would only get paid an extra 10% of the money I actually received. Maybe that wasn't enough for him. At one point, he asked me to testify against a friend in another case he was handling. I refused. Then, about a year ago, he contacted me and said he had more information against this rat. I told him I was working on selling the land. He said I had to be in possession of the house for the suit to go through, which sounded odd to me. I told him that I had the house destroyed so it wouldn't fall on anyone or slide down the mountainside onto my neighbors. He just said not to sell it. No response about the raised house. He said to wait 2 months. I didn't hear back from him for over 3 months, so I moved forward on the sale. Then he contacted me again and said he just needed 2 more months, so I waited again. Didn't hear from him. Then I heard from a friend that attorneys there would accrue fees until they owned the property that was being contested. That sounded about right to me, since Espinosa never told me what was going on, no matter how much I demanded or begged. So I sold the property, Sands House, for $30,000. I don't think Espinosa ever intended to catch that rat. Actually, it seemed to me that his beautiful young associate was the one who did the work to win the first round. Still, I sang his praises on Facebook after he won the first round, but now I really have my doubts about whose side he was on. I wouldn't recommend him to a friend for sure.